worked it out. You know, he likes to receive the ball, he likes to link up the play, and he likes to get in the box. And yeah, I really enjoyed his performance. It was chalk and cheese from Burnley from the first half to the second half. It was, I thought they were fantastic. It was Burnley of old with the blocks as well and the performance. It was so much better second half.
The home fans behind us this evening, especially when they got the equaliser, you were enjoying a little tete-a-tete with them. But from your perspective, it's another game where Manchester United promised so much and delivered so little.
Well, we saw at the weekend the FA Cup game, Middlesbrough. Man United played particularly well in that game, but didn't punish the opposition when they were on top. Today, first half, they were a better team, hands down. Had chances, didn't put this game to bed, and then you get punished. You play against teams like this, in a stadium like this, tight. This team, with someone like Sean Dyche, given an opportunity to go in there, reshape his team, reconfigure it, come out again, different energy, and then they put you on the back foot. And Man United had to weather storm at some points in this second half.
Hey, how good were the two goalkeepers out there?
Well, I didn't want to say it, but...
No, you did want to say it.
They were the difference. We saw what Nick Pope did the first half, the save against ᴅᴏ. Was, you know, as good as scoring a goal. How we kept that out, managed to keep it out. And in the second half, Dyche made an excellent save down to his right. Of course, Burnley had very few chances created. We highlighted that before the match. They don't create much. But when they do, they need to take the chance, and they made Dyche work. So, yeah, the keepers won,
Yeah, a couple of masterclasses from the goalkeepers. And actually, straight after we finish here this evening at 10:45, this is coming your way.
Jay, that's a huge point. Maybe not the win you hoped for, but since it was such a great comeback, that's a fine result, isn't it, tonight?
Yeah, I think it is a feeling just in that game there. You know, so obviously second half we came out a little bit better. Man United have a great side. The players have got they made it difficult for us, and I think to come and get a point and really press on them, I think shows the character of the lads and the quality as well.
And you waited a while for that goal, haven't you?
It's been too long, yeah. It's it's been very frustrating, but I always have. I stick to what I do. I've done all my career. I have my beliefs and how I work, and I always have that hunger and belief that I'll score goals. So eventually, hopefully, I'll get on a run now.
It's your 100th career Premier League goal. It's a memorable one.
That's it. That's why it's been bothering me. That 100, and it's.
You've done it now.
Yeah, I've done it.
It's like a batsman in your cricket, just on 99. He's stuck on 99.
Literally, and it's been a bit frustrating, but. No, I think, like I say, I'll continue to keep improving. I want to keep learning, keep improving, and keep adding to that.
Nice run across Harry Maguire and then the finish. That was a nice move.
Yeah, just thought to touch it in front, and if he touches me, then it's it's difficult for Harry to defend that. So then I found someone I wanted. It was really pleased with that, and I felt then that we could step on and maybe win it. But obviously you got to think about Man United. They're a great side with great players. Did
you feel somewhat fortunate to go in just the one goal down at half time?
Yeah, because obviously I felt like I was fouled on the first one, so I think give offside for that. But yeah, obviously they had another one disallowed. You kind of think it might be one of them nights that you do get your chance and take it, and luckily we did. We just shame we didn't get 3 points.
Yeah, you sprang into life in the second half, and there were some words said at half time.
I think it's just a little bit of belief in ourselves. Like the quality that we've got in the group, every day in training we see the players we've got and we've recruited are really top notch, and it's just showing it on the pitch. I think maybe a bit of belief and a bit of taking the game by the scruff of the neck, and I think we did it second half, and it really pleased to see that.
So the fight goes on?
Exactly, yeah, we've got to fight every game. We've got a really tough game against Liverpool, but when it's like this, it's bouncing, it's we love it, so hopefully we can just carry on.
Well done. Thanks
Cheers,
very much.
thank you. Thanks a lot, mate.
Look, Peter, you've played here under Sean Dyche. His message will be very much, look, forget about what tonight does for the league table, because it doesn't help them in any way, shape or form, but actually focus on the fact they've drawn against United and played well.
Yeah, huge positives. I think obviously Newcastle winning is a disappointment for them. But if you'd have said at half-time that Burnley get a point out of this game, you thought you were mad, because United were totally in control of the match. I thought there was lots of positives. I thought that obviously ⴍᴏᴜ, the new signing, looked comfortable. He looked like he was up for the fight. He looked like he could potentially score goals. I thought me and Tarkowski and Pope were, a staple in the Premier League of recent seasons. Were back to their best tonight. So there's a lot of positives.
Way better than the weekend.
Way better.
What a game that was, by the way.
Well, that's it. That's what they added to building on the foundations of Nick Pope, and Ben-Mee and Tarkowski were just unbelievable. The number of shots that they prevented from getting to Nick Pope was absolutely... That's what they've done, and that's what Sean Dyche should be looking to build upon.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look at the equaliser now. I think interesting to look at it both from an attacking and a defensive perspective.
Yeah, I mean, this comes actually from Manchester United actually attacking, but what the guys are speaking about, putting the bodies on the line in front of the goal, not allowing shots. There you see a crunching tackle, edge of the box, 2 or 3 of them lying down. and then playing forward and running forward. And what I liked about this, Crouchy mentioned it before the game, the big man. You see that there, that might have gone down there for Woods, running into that area there. That have gone in there, demand it in there. But no, there's your big number 9. Give it to my feet. I want it to feet. That's where I'm comfortable. Get it into me, and then it's about feet. And let me just take that back a minute. Let me just take that back, because that bit of skill was beautiful. But can it be prevented? And what I mean here by can it be prevented, you see here, and I'll stop it again, there's McTominay. He's your protection. He's the man in front protecting. I think all that he's got to do there, Maguire, is just keep pushing him that way. He hasn't got to overcommit. The minute he overcommits, it's a beautiful bit of skill. And the reverse pass here is just sublime. If Kevin De Bruyne does that, we're all up going crazy. And this goal here is made by this little move here, getting across Maguire there. Watch when he pushes the ball across him here, takes Maguire completely out of it. Bring me down. And this isn't the confidence of someone who hasn't scored. He scored 1 in 49 goals games. Crazy confidence to be doing that.
What should Maguire have done at the end there? Could he have done more?
I don't think Maguire's quick enough to have got there to affect that situation once he got beyond him. No, it's more about stopping it at source. Once he had the big number 9 facing that way to the goal, keep him going that way. It's easy to say. I know people can get turned, but he's got the security of McTominay in front of him. As I said, he can deal with him a little bit and make sure he doesn't turn and come back on you. But these are small mistakes that obviously lead into big moments. And what a finish from Rodriguez.
It was a very different Burnley that came out, wasn't it, after the half-time team talk from Sean Dyche, when we saw it straight away?
Oh, we did. The way that in the first half, how United had absolutely smashed Burnley down their right-hand side with Luke Shaw and with Jadon Sancho. What Burnley did was put Connor Roberts higher up, and it allowed Dwight McNeil as well to stay higher up. And when Dwight McNeil's in possession of the ball, he can cause you problems. If he's back defending or trying to double up, he can do that. That's a fantastic save from De Gea. We said before the game, the conditions would play their part, and that ball bouncing up is really hard to judge. After that, a couple of more speculative efforts. I think Eric Peters had about 3 of those, didn't he? Kind of left foot pinpoint volleys. But they were more effective because they pushed United back. They didn't allow them to bomb on. And from the outset, they caused Manchester United problems. They didn't get enough, actually, to trouble De Gea, other than that single one. But it's here, isn't it? Down the right-hand side, down the pressing in numbers, really, really tight. Came out with a real hunger, a real tenacity, a real belief. And when this guy's on fire, Dwight McNeil, he wasn't at his best today, having to do a lot of defensive work in the first half. But when he is, we saw a little bit later on in the second half, he is magical. And you waxing lyrical about
yeah, well, I was.
Have you joined the fan club yet?
I'm in, 100%. No, listen, I was. He had to hit the ground running. Obviously, not scored yet, but I felt like he had a real impact on that. You can see with his touch map here, he was all over the pitch. I felt that, get the ball into him. I think Burnley have quickly worked out, his strengths and his attributes, and I think he'll be a huge asset to this club.
From what you've seen this evening, how do you feel about Burnley between now and the end of the season?
Listen, we can't get carried away with one half of football, let's put it that way, because Manchester United were very much in control. I think it's going to be difficult, but I think there was some real good signs out there today that can get out of it. And I think, the experience of some of the players and the manager as well, they've been in this position before, that they'll believe they can get out of it.
And as much as, we've spoken about Burnley turning things on in the second half and playing better, it was another of those Jekyll and Hyde performances from your old team that we just seem to be seeing week in, week out.
I mean, that's the disappointing thing. That wasn't good enough for Man United in terms of result, wanting to get into the top 4, wanting to show progression under this regime, the new manager, Ralf Rangnick. So it's disappointing on that front. It wasn't the performance that you want to see, a wholesome performance over 90 minutes. This, like you say, Jekyll and Hyde performances. First half, really good, really positive. Leave you wanting more. Second half, you're thinking, wow, where's the energy? Where's the urgency? Where's that fight and that grit to kind of come through situations that you're always going to get when you come to places like this? You come to grounds like this, you have to weather storms. Man United don't seem to be able to do that.
Should we hear from the boss live?
Yes.
He is with Des.
Thanks, Jake. What's the story tonight, Ralf? Is it similar to Friday nights? You need to be more clinical?
Well, we scored 3 goals, different from last Friday when we only scored 1 goal in the first half. Tonight we scored 3 goals. And I thought especially the second one that was disallowed. I watched it right now in the locker room, and
is this the one with Pogba?
The linesman flagged foul, but he flagged it 10 seconds after that incident, and this was a very soft decision, I must say. But again, we played an excellent first half. I thought we controlled and dominated the game. We scored 3 goals, but only two were disallowed. And then the second half, the first 15-20 minutes, we were just not aggressive enough. It was clear that they would come out after the break in a more aggressive way to play, but we were not aggressive in those first 15 minutes, and that's why we gave away the goal. We had a very good counter-attack situation 30 seconds before we conceded the goal. And the way that we allowed them to score was also, we didn't defend the whole situation well. And that was, at the end, again, a frustrating night for us, because we should have won that game easily after the first half. And even in the last 20-25 minutes, we had full control and dominated the game, but we were not as decisive enough as we were in the first half.
How do you get that killer instinct back?
Well, as I said, we scored 3 goals in the first half, so I couldn't blame the team for not having a killer instinct in the first half. But yeah, at the end, in the last 20-25 minutes, as I said, we had a lot of set pieces, a lot of free kicks, corner kicks. In the end, it was also a little bit a question of luck. With Ralf Rangnick, the header of Cristiano, the header of Harry Maguire. But again, in the end, 1 point for a performance like this is just not enough.
Thanks very much, Ralf.
Thank you.
Is that what you want to hear from your Manchester United boss, talking about the disallowed goals being the reason they didn't get the win?
I understand why he's saying that. He's deflecting from the poor performance of the second half, and he has something to cling on to. But I think deep down, at Carrington, he'll be more concerned with the performance in the second half. Not being clinical enough in the first half, but then not being able to kind of get through to them rocky periods in the game. They've got enough experience in there, and they should be able to do that. But I agree with him. One of the goals, the one where Pogba is deemed to foul Peters, I think is soft, it's weak. This is the first one. I get this. I understand why this has been disallowed. It's a great header in the end, but Maguire, the block and being in an offside position, affects the play completely.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think you can argue with that. Harry Maguire affects the play, regardless if he gets back in or not. He might have done, and he's offside. So you've got to give that.
This one's softer, though, isn't it? I mean, Eric P is not out of position, but he's been dragged in central. Jamal Pogba gets all of that bit of tussling. That happens all the time. It's not even holding. It's just a little bit of contact on his back. Runs through to Rashford. He brings it back, and, I mean, it's unfortunate. It would have been if it had gone in for it as an own goal. But end of the day, it's got ruled out. They've had enough chances, Manchester United, throughout the game to have put this to bed. No problems. But yeah.
Crouchy wouldn't have scored a goal in his career.
No, I don't think I would have. You could have chalked about 50 of my goals off, I reckon, if that's a foul. Listen, what Eric Peters does really, really well is he draws the referee's attention or linesman's attention to the foul or potential foul. Because if he tries to stand on his feet, that's not given. The fact that he goes down, makes a meal of it a bit, it draws the attention. And
it is subjective. Burnley fans will think it's the right decision. United fans won't think it's the right decision. What isn't subjective, though, is that United were a goal up at a team that hadn't had a shot on or off target in the whole 45 minutes and failed to put the game to bed. The second half is far more of a focus, surely, for United than the first.
And that's 11 points dropped from winning positions this season as well. So you can see it's a theme that's going on through the season, and they've got to address that. And there's little details in a game that if you don't get right, you get punished. And you can talk about the levels in the league, and Burnley languishing in the bottom, near the bottom half of the table, right near the bottom of the relegation zone. But you give them a glimmer of hope. I don't care who it is. We saw it with Middlesbrough. You give them a glimmer of hope, they'll take it, and these teams will punish you. They've got good enough players that are here that want to play and want to hurt the big teams. And Man United are allowing teams to do that.
And you can see the table there. That's the top 6. If the teams behind United win their games in hand, they'd be 8th. And we'll talk about the battle for the top 4 and where it leads Man.
Sean, that's your club's 5,000th league game. You made it a memorable one, didn't you?
Second half. First half was a slow one from our point of view. Good one from Man U. They're a good side, you know. Bit of noise about them, but you look at, well, you did actually mention the team sheet before the game, and you look at a piece of paper, and you think, yeah, they've got some really good players. I thought the first half they showed that, and It wasn't a lack of effort, but a lack of commitment to the performance, I thought. And then second half, we reacted very well. I thought there were signs the last 6 or 7 minutes of the first half. We opened up a bit, played a bit better, asked questions of them more freely for that 7 or 8 minutes. And then second half, I thought we obviously took the game on. I was very pleased with that.
Yeah, what did you say at half-time? Because, I mean, it was a storming start.
Yeah, look, it's always a reminder. You know, it's difficult times at the minute. You know, confidence is not free-flowing. You build confidence, but I do remind him we're a good outfit ourselves. You know, we deserve the right to be in the Premier League. We have done for many seasons. So it was more a case of reminding them the belief. Couple that to prod a little bit for a better performance, which they reacted to. And really, you know, if you're going to play, everyone's got to play. You know, first half I thought we just went a bit straight. We weren't really, you know, kind of working at the game without actually taking control of it. Second half, we said we've got to go and take more control of the ball, more control of the game when we can. Obviously, it's not easy against Manchester United, but I thought we did that for the second half.
There's a bit of relief going in at half-time that you were just 1 goal down.
Well, our defensive structure served us well many occasions. You know, we ask a lot of them, but I thought they kept us in it because I thought there was 4 or 5 not performing in the first half in front of them. Popey makes a couple of good saves, a couple of spreads with his feet, which he's good at. 2 centre-halves were excellent again, 2 full-backs working hard. And then second half, the whole team started working better. So I think, you know, the defensive unit was strong, but also in attack. And when you get your attacking side right, obviously it takes the pressure off the defensive unit.
What did you make of the VAR decisions? I mean, if they'd gone against you, would you been happy about it? It seemed... Ralf Rangnick says one of them was particularly soft.
Well, if you're going to talk about that, Maguire's probably going to go off, you know, on a different day. Probably goes off. So we've got to be careful when we're talking about these decisions. I think you get some, you don't. We all know the margins, they're really tight. I don't think we always get our fair share, so I'll take it if we got one tonight.
Your goal scorer tonight, Jay Rodriguez, has been hanging on 99 goals. He got there in the end.
Yeah, fantastic. I thought he performed well. I said before the game he was unlucky to come out the side after the Arsenal performance because his workload and he'd been ill. And he's delivered a performance tonight. I'm pleased for him. It's a really good goal. Great touch across the centre half. The centre half's in trouble then. You know, does he bring him down? Does he not? And then it's a really calm finish. But really good play leading up to that chance as well.
Yeah, you know what the final question is. The battle goes on. I know what the answer's going to be as well, isn't it?
Well, it's onwards and upwards. That's the only place we can go, or not, of course. But no, look, they're tough games. You know, you've got Liverpool, good outfit again. But I think there's a belief in what we're trying to achieve. There's a belief certainly in the players' performance second half. We've got to make sure that performance starts when the first whistle goes, not wait for half-time.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.